Hello everyone, I'm Thumesha Jayatilake, a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and a member of College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants Canada. Today I'm going to discuss the changes introduced by IRCC 2 days ago on the 14th of January 2025, which will come in effect starting 21st of January regarding the open work permit eligibility of family members of temporary residents. So, the new rules have been introduced in order to strengthen the integrity of and the quality of the temporary resident programs in Canada while supporting the country's economic growth as well as addressing to the labor market needs. So, as we all know, in 2024 September, IRCC announced some changes with regard to the postgrad work permit eligibility of international students, while also alerting about several changes that are going to come up for the eligibility of the spousal open work permits. Accordingly, on the 14th of January this year, they announced the changes which will align the temporary foreign worker program with Canada's labor shortages and the economic development plans. So we will discuss the changes one by one today. Uh, First of all, for the spouses of international students, the eligibility of the open work permit will be limited to the students who are following master's programs with a minimum duration of 16 months, and the students who are following doctoral programs, as well as the students who are following some professional programs in the eligible fields that are being already specified by IRCC. As examples, the dental surgery uh, and Bachelor of Law or Juris Doctor, Doctor of Medicine, Nursing, Education, Bachelor of Engineering, Pharmacy, Doctor of Optometry. So these specified programs based on the labor shortages, even though are not falling into the master or the doctoral levels, their spouses will still be eligible to apply for the spousal open work permit. And also, when it comes to the foreign workers, the eligibility of the spousal open work permit will be limited to those who are having a tier 0 or tier 1 occupation. So this is a big one because previously those who were employed at lower tier categories as well were eligible to apply for the spousal open work permit, and also the uh, international students after completing their study program, when they apply for the postgraduate work permit, they were also eligible to obtain spousal open work permits for the spouses, as well as open work permits for the dependent children if they have dependent children who are old enough to uh, to uh, to earn some money through by doing a job in Canada. So the tier 0 jobs are the management occupations such as financial managers, HR managers, purchasing managers, marketing managers, engineering managers, and so on. And the tier 1 jobs will be the professionals who will need a university degree to carry out their job duties. For an example, financial auditors, accountants, business management consultants, chemists, architects, and so on. So you can find the uh, tier level jobs in the on the NOC uh, website. So you can go to canada.ca and search for the NOC descriptions, and you will find the list of occupations on the tier 0 and tier 1. So unfortunately, those who are employed in tier 2, 3, 4, and 5 are not going to be eligible to apply for a spousal open work permit for their starting from the 21st of January. But also, they specified some in-demand fields which will still be eligible even if you're doing a tier 2 or tier 3 job. uh, the if you're working in a labor shortage or the prioritized sectors such as natural and applied sciences, construction, healthcare, natural resources, education, sports, and military as well this time. But also, IRCC has stated that they are going to release the full list of eligible occupations on the 21st of January. So we will have to wait for the list to find out which other occupations or the sectors will be eligible if you're working in a tier 2 or 3 job to apply for a spousal open work permit for your spouse. And apart from the tier category of your job, you also need to have a valid work permit, uh, at least having 16 months of remaining duration by the time of applying for the spousal open work permit. So you have to also ensure that correct duration of your work permit to apply for the spousal open work permit. And if you're already in Canada, you might need to renew the open work permit for your spouse or your dependent children if they already have one. So in such cases, if you're applying for the open work permit under the same criteria, for an example, if a student had to take longer than the uh, expected duration to complete a particular study program, the student might need to have a get an extension for the study permit application. If you have taken leave of absence from your studies or something due to some kind of an accident, injury, or some other reason, then if you're extending your study permit application, your spouse will be on the spousal open work permit under the same criteria. Spouse is going to renew the spousal open work permit under the same criteria. So in such cases, the new rules will not apply. They can still renew their open work permits. So it is for the dependent children if they have an open work permit with them. And also sometimes when you're applying for the study permit and then when you apply for your spouse, if the spouse didn't have a passport validity for that entire period, spouse might get a shorter period than the period that he or she is supposed to be getting. So in such cases, it's a matter of extension under the same criteria. So you can go ahead with the extension. But if the criteria changes, for an example, if a student completes studies after the January 21st, and then the student is going for a postgraduate work permit, now the situation has changed, and now the spouse will not be eligible any longer unless you have a tier 0 or 1 uh, job offer in your hand. Also, having a PGWP eligibility for a period more than 16 months. So, because the conditions or the situation will be different, so then it goes as a new application. Therefore, so this will be applicable to all the family members, like the spouses, as well as for the dependent children. So they have also introduced some exemptions for these changes. For an example, Canada has various free trade agreements which allow workers to move between countries. For an example, like Canada has agreements with US, Mexico, European Union, Korea, Ukraine, Israel. So if your work permit is coming under any of these free trade agreements, then these new rules will not be applicable. You will still be eligible to apply for your spousal open work permit based on whatever the uh, criteria that you might fall into.